Well, I just want to say that I love you even though I don't show it.
What is your name?
My name is Tommy.
Teresa.
I'm Avery.
My name is Berlinda.
My name is Dana Turdy.
Kiara.
Okay. What's your real name?
My real name, that's funny. So when I was born, my parents named me Idana.
Avery Olyaiy Lao.
Hyunjung. So my legal name is Đoàn Nguyễn Phương Khanh Berlinda.
My real name is Tommy.
Do you get asked that a lot?
Yeah, I do. Some people actually don't believe me.
My real legal name is Avery. My middle name is Olyaiy, so I don't understand when people say, oh, what's your real name? It's just, my real name's Avery, dude.
How does it make you feel when people ask you that?
I feel bad for saying this, but kind of embarrassing, because when I was in elementary school, people would always make fun of my Chinese name. And when you're 10, it just doesn't feel great.
In the past, people have made nicknames based on my legal name, based on what it sounds like. A lot of the time, my American teacher would mispronounce my legal name, so I would rather not butcher my own name, you know?
I'm not too offended by it. I can understand why people wouldn't believe Tommy is my real name, but I actually do have Tommy as my name in my ID, as well as my Chinese name, Wei Ming.
What do you think when you hear the term model minority myth?
Model minority myth.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's a myth. Model minorities because Asian people were seen as better or they work harder.
Think of a lot of things. I feel like I'm personally connected to the idea of the model minority. I think that there's a lot of pressure on children of immigrants, especially. There's a certain stereotype, like you have to be good at math, you have to, be quiet and really passive. You're a doctor, a lawyer.
Were your parents hard on you in school? And why do you think so?
Yeah, I definitely had a tiger mom when I was growing up.
Since I'm Korean, they're very, very strict about school. They came to Canada so that me and my brother could pursue greater education and we would have more access to opportunities.
Now I am thankful to them to a certain extent for raising me to be very disciplined and to work hard in school. I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without it, but it also made my relationship with them really difficult.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna get emotional during this. I love my parents so much, and they sacrificed a lot for me to be here. Sorry, I just need a second. I did not expect to cry today. Here we are. Thank you. I think a lot of who I thought I was due to pressure from my parents and trying to be who they want me to be. I almost feel like I have to hide a part of myself to my parents. I don't ever really feel like they see the entire me because that part is messy and it doesn't fit with their more conservative views. They wouldn't want to hear that. I really like to write poetry and that I've always wanted to be a writer or an actress when I
from a young age that we'd go to school, and then when we come back from school, my parents would buy us workbooks to do. So we'd be studying after school, and if we didn't, kind of get yelled at, scolded, and if I didn't get a good grade in one of my classes, my parents would be really upset with me.
what are some sacrifices your parents have made immigrating here?
Like my parents, they both like went to university. My dad has a master's degree and he had a really, really great job in Taiwan. Like he worked in corporate at Mitsubishi, like the company in both like Taipei and Tokyo. And when we moved to Canada, he had to work as a chef at a Japanese restaurant for like minimum wage. And it's just like really sad knowing that like my parents, like they worked so hard when they were in Asia, and then to come to this country and just like not be recognized for everything that they've worked for.
When we came to Canada, I don't think they had any relatives here or any friends, nothing. They kind of started from scratch. Even like now my parents own a motel and they work around the clock every single day. They manage the whole business and they do it because they want to give a good life for me and my brother.
I was 2 years old when we moved here from China, and my parents were doctors there. They were practicing traditional Chinese medicine in a really big hospital, and they were doing what they both loved, and they're pretty successful. Like they made a decent living for themselves. So when they moved here, they just had to start over completely. Like none of their education amounted to anything here. So they had to go to school all over again. They had to learn English. They had to make friends all over again, and thankfully there's a really great community here that they found, and I'm really grateful for that.
So if your mom or dad experienced anti-Asian racism in any form, do you think they would report it?
No. I think they would just like, they try to brush it off a lot. Like sometimes when they tell me that like certain things, certain situations happen to them, they kind of like brush it off. They're like, no, it's like not really racism. Like they're kind of like denying it just to kind of, I guess, like improve, like for their like own like cognitive relief to like not feel like they're experiencing these difficult situations. And even like when I talk about like racism that I've experienced like growing up in Canada as an Asian person, they kind of tell me to brush it off and like it's like not that big of a deal. Like my mom once like told me, she's like, not everything's about race, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I like to think so, but I honestly don't know. As you know, people of color and as immigrants, a lot of the time we try not to cause anything or to raise any issues. I don't know how to phrase this. I think it's a lot harder for people of color, especially as immigrants, to stand up for ourselves, if that makes sense, because we're not offered the same privileges that white people are here, whereas traditionally, you know, Caucasian looking people.
No, I don't think they would. I think the first thing they would do is tell the family group chat, followed by maybe telling their friends and family. But where I'm from, you don't ever call the police.
So in my town, it's pretty common to get like racialized comments. And one of like the frequent lines that people say when they get mad at my dad when he's running the business is like, why don't you just move back to China? First off, we're not even Chinese, but they don't really care. They kind of brush it off, and I don't think they believe that anything would come out of it if they were to report it, and they just think like, oh, shame on that person, but not like, I want to make sure this doesn't happen again, kind of thing.
A shocking new survey shows just how prominent anti-Asian racism is in our country and how it has become so prevalent since the beginning of the pandemic.
20 hate-related crimes against Asian Canadians reported in Vancouver this year. There were 12 in all of last year.
Take your bike back to where you came from. You people made this shit up in Wuhan City, and now you've brought it here to Canada.
Police say these men specifically targeted more than 100 women because they were Asian American.
A 61-year-old man pounded into the ground.
Shows a woman getting assaulted and robbed on Thursday. From Oakland to
here at this 7-Eleven on the corner of East First Avenue and Nanaimo Street. It happened about more than a month ago.
The majority of these crimes on East Asian elders do actually go unreported. Many infer that this is due to the language barrier, but forget the cultural aspect of this passiveness. The politeness that is ingrained in our culture, along with the emphasis on respect for our elders. On top of that, after many years of oppression, our grandparents or parents could be carrying the immigrant mindset of moving along and keeping our heads down so that the family can survive. Sadly, this may be the very reason why they're being targeted.
When was the last time you told your mom or dad you loved them?
Oh god, this sounds bad, but like, I don't know, I like don't remember honestly because like my family's not super like in touch with their feelings, I would say. Like I've like noticed throughout like growing up in Canada, like the way like Asian parents are, not to like overgeneralize, but the way like my parents are versus how some of my friends who are not Asians, like relationship with their parents is so different in the sense that like my non-Asian friends, their parents would like tell them they love them all the time, they would hug them and like kiss them and stuff, and like in my household that just like wasn't really a thing. And like it's like starting to get a little better now. Like I think my parents are starting to recognize that and they're both like trying to improve on it, but yeah, it's like something we're all still working on, unfortunately.
I want to say 4 years ago. That's probably like the only time I can like remember saying it, to be honest, and the only time I feel like I've heard it in a long time. And it was just because I was going on a plane and I felt really sketched out by it because it was super small. There were only like 30 seats on it and you could feel every bump, and I texted my mom because I don't know why I thought I was gonna die. Like I thought I was in Grey's Anatomy or something, and I told her I loved her, and she told me she loved me back, and I cried on the plane.
Probably. Wait a second. Probably a couple of days ago, a few days ago. Not as soon as I would like, but yeah, I try to tell them as much as possible.
I'm not very close to my dad, so I don't think I ever really said I love you to him. But my mom, I think the last time would be 2 weeks ago.
For the last bit of this video, I'd like for you to give your mom or dad a phone call and just say I love you, just out of nowhere.
They're gonna be like, why are you crying? What's happening?
Hi, Dana.
Hi. I just wanted to say that I love you.
What?
I'm just calling to say I love you.
You okay, Mom?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. I just did the interview and it got really emotional.
Wait, Mama.
Hey.
I just wanted to tell you that I love you.
What happened?
Nothing.
Okay. 好啊，你等一下回来告诉我 detail.
Okay, I will.
I love you too.
Okay, I love you.
Yes, 小女。
Hi, Ma. Well, I wanted to say I love you.
Oh, hi. I love you too. 你做乜街啊 ？What's happening? 有嘢求啊？
錄緊影啊。
哦，咁點啊？你講啲咩㗎？
She's asking what to say. I don't know, Ma. I mean, that's it. I just wanted to tell you I love you.
I'd like you to give your mom or your dad a call and say that you love them.
I'm gonna cry. I'm already tearing. Fuck. Can I just hold the tissue box?
Yeah.
Hold them.
Cut to the next clip.
Oh god.
And then,
What?
Con muốn nói là trong cái lúc mà bố đưa con đến đây and then we talk, I just really appreciate it. Con rất là cảm ơn bố vì đã kiểu luôn kiểu stay calm and be patient with me when I'm like so mean all the time. Cause I don't know, I just can't control my emotion. I just want to say that I love you even though I like don't show it because I struggle like expressing my emotion. But yeah.
Tôi cũng hiểu mà vì con cũng hai bố con xa nhau lâu rồi. Bố vẫn biết là con rất là yêu chị, mà bố yêu con nha. Không giận gì đâu nha. Có hai bố con sẽ nói chuyện nhiều hơn, gần hơn nhau nhé.
Okay, I have bố. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I was about to tear up there.
Bro.